So as you can see, we have made it to the Nurburgring, and I have found my friend Tim with his McLaren Senna and his Ford GT and made it all the way here with the Aventador S Roadster with the roof off. That drive was incredible. The way that car handles on the road is just fantastic. It's such a nice cruiser, but it's so ferocious fast and loud as well on the autobahns. But now we're here to take again a closer look at these two track weapons that Tim has, the McLaren Senna and the Ford GT. We're going to take them out onto the Grand Prix track here at the Nurburgring, which has to be an incredible thing. The weather is fantastic. It's 20 degrees out, but the sun is burning, so the track is nice and hot. The air is nice and cool, which is perfect for the engines. Let's see how fast these cars are. So I took the Aventador, drove it all the way here with the roof off, which was absolutely epic. And this car just never fails to amaze. But what we're here for are these two. As Tim is filming his intro, I'll just show you a little bit of them. You have seen them before, obviously, in his videos maybe, or in my previous video. If you haven't seen that video, check the link here in the top as well. But these cars are so special, and it's so cool to see them. When I met Tim last week at Spring Event, where he brought both his McLaren Senna and Ford GT, and he let me drive his cars together with him on that little track, we were talking about the fact that actually that little track was just a little bit too small, narrow and slow and dusty to fully explore the potential of these incredible cars that he owns. So then he came up with the idea to bring me out here to the Nürburgring, where he was here today and yesterday for Car Friday and all sorts of cool stuff that he did. If you haven't seen those videos, go check out his channel and make sure you see all his content, because he took out his McLaren on the Nordschleife, drove it together with the guys from Apex Nürburgring with the Ferrari Pista. Epic stuff. But now it is time to try these cars, the McLaren Senna and the Ford GT, out here on the Grand Prix track, a track that I know very well from GT racing, Formula racing. I've been here many times, racing here multiple times, but now we're gonna see how good these cars are, these track weapons are, the Ford GT and the McLaren Senna on this track. The weather is absolutely perfect, and I can't wait to explore these cars together with Tim here in the Nürburgring. Right, so we are back behind the steering wheel of Tim's McLaren Senna. We've just put it into race mode, which is this crazy sweet sequence that makes the car completely ready for track use. And we're going to take it onto the Grand Prix track. Now, something that I have to stress is that today is Touristenfahrten, which means that it's basically, we have to comply to normal road usage, overtaking only on the left. It's nice and easy. Everybody's driving their road cars on track, so it's just basically an opportunity for people to try their cars on this beautiful track. We're not gonna go crazy. We're just able now here to explore a little bit more how these cars feel dynamically, and I can't wait. So this time around, I'm first in the Senna. Tim is gonna be first off in the GT. Let's hit the track. All right, here we go. Tim is heading out in front of me in his Ford GT. So we're back in this situation again, where I am driving his McLaren Senna and he is in his Ford GT, and we're gonna take them out onto the track for a little spin. Again, we're gonna take it very easy, not gonna go anywhere crazy, but it is a very cool opportunity just to have a little feel for what these cars are like. Now, Tim advised me to put the car into lift mode, which I just did now. As I can see, Tim hasn't put his Ford GT into race mode yet. So I think we're just going to drive to the end of the pit lane and then stop there to take the time to put both of the cars into race mode. He's going to stop here and then put the car into race mode. So that's also what I'm going to do. Race mode. Push this button once, push it again and hold. Engage parking brake. Alright. So again, not extremely familiar with this entire procedure. Where's the parking brake?
Put it back in race mode.
I was doing that. Where's the... Oh, here it is. Parking brake engaged.
And then neutral.
And then neutral is over here.
Yeah.
And then
the two press motion. And then press and hold.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. We're good. Alright, so Tim just came over to help me figure this stuff out because this car is a little complicated for me just because I'm not familiar with how all the buttons and systems work, but the car is back into race mode. We just have to wait until the session that is prior to us is finished. We have to wait until this session in front of us is finished. They try to minimize the amount of cars and bikes which are driving together on the track to a minimum so everybody has enough space. But just look at these two. Look at them here standing next to each other in the pit lane. I'm going to be in the McLaren Senna first and then in the 4GT, and Tim is going to be driving that right over there, just talking to some fans. But look at this place. The weather is just so perfect and these cars are even better. That big door with the glass panel in the side. Tim in front of me in his 4GT. I've got race mode engaged with the racing display over there. Such a spectacular car. This is so focused, so bare, so raw. Let's get on track. Alright, so the light turned to green. It is time to head out here onto the Nurburgring Grand Prix track. Let's put my seat just one click backwards. Yes, that's better. The track is open. Tim heading out in front of me in his 4GT. Oh, these tires still need some temperature. Look at that air brake on the 4GT. This car is so flat, so much grip. The tires are still incredibly cold, so they still need some temperature. Senna and the 4GT. Wow, what an experience, and what a crazy speed difference between these two cars. I wasn't expecting the 4GT to lack so much power compared to the Senna, or I have to say the Senna having just so much more power than the 4GT. I already felt that a little bit in Weeze, but now seeing the cars next to each other and on the track, following Tim. As soon as I went on the power and I got into the boost and accelerated through the gears, I just chewed up the meters that he had on me, and it was just an incredible thing to see. Now, the Senna doesn't seem to have a little hydraulic issue. The suspension system on the Senna is very trick with the cross-linked hydraulic suspension, and for some reason it's sending the fluid to the wrong corner. Now, this is not something that should be a big issue or like a very big thing, but anyway, we need to figure it out. This is something that can happen to these very technical cars. We're figuring it out right now, and then afterwards I'm going to take out the 4GT to see what that is like in comparison. But already so far I'm so impressed with the McLaren Senna. So cool to drive behind Tim in his 4GT here on the Nurburgring just for a couple of easy laps. Let's see what the 4GT feels like. So after fixing just a minor glitch in a sensor on the McLaren Senna, these things happen. You have to consider that part of the supercar dream, I say. After fixing that minor glitch, we're now ready to go back out on track here onto the Nurburgring for the Touristenfahrten, swapping around the cars, me going in the 4GT right now, and Tim's gonna be in the McLaren Senna. Let's see how this compares. So Tim has given me the key to the 4GT. Time to open her up, jump in this thing, and take it out for a spin here on the Nurburgring. Whoa. And it's just so surprising. This car is so tiny. It's very small with the carbon fiber tub, which is developed for the Le Mans GT car. But just how comfortable these seats are, which are completely fixed in the car, in the carbon fiber tub. You actually move about the pedals and the steering wheel, but the seat stays fixed, but the cushioning is so soft. I guess that's a little bit of the American influence that you can feel on there, but still very focused, very much race car for the road. And I can't wait to try this one again. I had so much fun with it in Weeze already, but now on this bigger track, this thing must feel much more in its element. So let's start her up. Very much race car sound with all sorts of different noises going on. Obviously an American ding of the door still being open, but what an impressive car. Yeah, the Senna was incredible, but this is still something very special as well. All right, here we go. We have a green light. Let's engage track mode. Such an incredible feeling having that car squat down, have the rear wing extend up high behind you in the rear view mirror, and then with the McLaren Senna in front with Tim behind the steering wheel. There we go. Putting it into drive. Manual, of course. Going into that first turn, just having a feeling for how we can react. Rear tires definitely still need some more temperature. And the blow up of the turbos.
simulated track weapon. But that Senna is just in a different league. But look at the balance. Just a small correction there. But it's so composed. It's so easy to control. Going back on the power. Believe me, I truly have to push quite hard to keep up with Tim in that Senna. Well, actually, I'm not really keeping up with him. He's just playing around with me. Really fast GT chicane. Down the gears into the final turn, nice and close to the apex. Finding traction, and that Senna is just gone. Obviously, I'm driving Tim's cars, and I'm not going to go completely crazy, but believe me, if I wanted to overtake him, I just wouldn't be able to in this thing. Not compared to that Senna. Let's go. Take it here on the inside. You already probably hear from the fact that I'm talking way less to you than in the Senna, that I just have to work harder in this thing in order to keep Tim behind me. Going through the Schumacher-S really fast. It was 190 on the exit, braking hard, down to third gear into the left, hitting that inside clip. Into the long right-hander, back on the power. Wow, wow, wow. Such a fun track car this is. But I think that I probably would have more fun in this car if I would have been on my own instead of Tim chasing me in the Senna, because he just puts on the pressure as he is so fast. Oh, wow. Look at him, just smiling. As I switch on. Alright, let's cool down. Let's cool down and take this all in. Again, what an incredible experience it is to experience these two cars. And now jumping into this thing and comparing it with that. Already I had the feeling from inside that Senna that that car is just in a completely different league. And now jumping into this, seeing Tim drive it, seeing how easily he can pull away from me and get close to me again once I overtake him. That's why that's called the Ultimate Series. That's why that's called a hypercar, and this is a supercar. A very, very fast supercar, but a supercar nonetheless. And you immediately feel that both of them are absolutely destined to be on tracks like these. I know they're extremely valuable, I know they're very desirable collector's items, but this is where they should be, and this is also why Tim is such a legend, that he has these cars, owns them, and takes them to this place. Even though this is not a full-on track day, it is Touristenfahrten, it is not all out, it is not going completely crazy, but this is the way you need to use these cars, because on the road did now and how Tim is using them. So again, such a big thank you to Tim, to SHMEE150, for giving me the honor of driving these cars again together with him here on the Nurburgring. I couldn't have imagined a better day apart from the minor glitch we had in the Senna, but that is it. That's the only thing. Other than that, the weather is perfect. The track is perfect with mine, only a couple of cars on the track and a couple of bikes, and then together with Tim, with my buddy, driving these cars. What an experience. I can't stop talking about it. I know I'm rambling on, but I'm just so excited. This is what lights my fire, what makes my heart beat faster, and why I love cars and racing so much. And relax.
So that was that done, the laps in the Ford GT, and already my suspicion is confirmed, and that is that Ford GT is a fantastic track car and a true supercar, but that McLaren Senna is just in another league, and that's why that's called a hypercar. Now we have a distinct difference between these two cars, because the performance difference in that Senna is just monumental. The way Tim was able to steer that car around so much more easily and with so much more pace than I did in the Ford GT around this Grand Prix track, which I know fairly well, was absolutely impressive. I love the Ford GT. The balance of the car is absolutely out of this world. It's perfectly built and balanced, and I love the way that engine works. Gearbox could be a little bit more responsive, in my opinion. That's definitely something the McLaren has over it, and also the other dual clutch systems that I've tried in different supercars, and also the Lamborghinis, obviously. But other than that, that Ford has such a great balance. But on the track, there has to be one king, and that is the McLaren Senna. That's why it's named after one of the most famous and most successful racing drivers in the world. That's a true hypercar. That's a fantastic supercar, and this was the most amazing day. I want to thank Tim, SHMEE150, once again for letting me come over and try these cars together with him again. I hope we're going to do many more adventures together, but now I'm going to try to get my adrenaline levels down, jump back in the Aventador S Roadster, and cruise back home in this lovely sunset. So thank you again for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to SHMEE as well if you haven't done so already, but you probably have, since he's so big and such a legend. If you have any other comments or questions about these two cars, please leave them here in the comments down below. And other than that, I want to say have a lovely Easter weekend. Enjoy the rest of it, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon again.